Let's start recording and let's get going. So, everybody in here should know who I am, so I don't have to do the big introductions and stuff. You've either seen me on shows or you subscribe to the stuff. You're in our Patreon, you're in our Discord. So, you guys should know who I am. I'm Rick, creator of the Warriors Way mindset, author, podcast. I do stuff. Okay. What I'm really here today is to do the things for you guys. Today is to serve you. And I want to get into some really cool training today, which gets into not only how to use one of the most complicated tools that we have, which is the map, but also I want to show you guys how to fight some of the biggest battles that I see coming up and some of my favorite fights to do. So today I'm also going to do a special training for you guys on how to beat doubt and depression, and these are beatable. So I'm going to give you guys some extra tools today to challenge doubt and challenge depression in a way to make it so you don't get caught by these bastards. There's a way to beat them. And I want to give you guys extra tools in your toolkit to make sure when these things start coming up, you don't have to get beat up like you did before. You're going to have new tools, you're going to have new weapons, and you're going to be able to defend yourself not only with the support systems in this groups, but also by awareness of what the hell I need to watch out for. Cool. So, just so you guys are aware, I'm going to switch over to some map stuff, give you some very rough idea of what I'm talking about, and then we're going to get into some cool stuff. Okay. Now, for those of you who do not know, this is my map. This came to me in the middle of the night. I'm pretty convinced that God gave it to me because it's very complex. I've had a lot of experts run through this. I've had PhDs, authors, psychologists, experts in all these fields run through this. And I said, tell me if it's not right. And nobody's been able to beat it yet. For any of you who want a copy of this, we'll send it to you. Just if you're in our Discord, I'll make sure you get one. But this has been the breakdown for how people work. Now, if you're wondering where do you start on this whole thing, usually, if you start here and end here, consider this your brain. If this whole thing was a body, belief is the middle. And then it goes to your core with your feelings and your values, and then it breaks out from there. Now, we can argue in the future in a very different training whether love is the beginning and it goes this way, or if belief is the beginning, but that's advanced training. Today, I'm going to get into over here the combinations of how, when we're in our loss system, the depression side, and the connecting element to depression is shame and doubt, and how these guys team up to come in through your feelings to help create your belief systems. So I'm going to get into those today by showing you what are they, how are they connected, and we're also going to connect it to your coping mechanisms too. And that means your triggers, your control systems, fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. The one associated with today would be freeze. Now, any of you guys have the freeze system? Just out of, just show me hands or put a one in the chat if you're on there. Like as soon as it hits a certain point, I just shut down. Like I'm just like I'm done. I'm done. I'm just out. You got it. I see a couple of people like, yep. There's a certain point where the argument or the disagreement or the situation gets to a point where I just freeze. I'm just done. I'm done. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of a reassurance on this one. People who don't understand the freeze system, they're judged very, very, very harshly. It looks like from somebody who doesn't understand it that that person stopped thinking. They gave up. They quit. They look and or judged as stupid. But the truth is when they've done studies, people with a freeze system are aware of everything. They're taking all the information in. They're seeing almost too much information at once, and it's too much to process and or make a choice with because I see a million different things. Possibilities, things that could go right, things that could go wrong. All those things are at once, and it's just a lot to process. And so a lot of times the shutdown system gets initiated. So it's the other way around. It's not because you know less or you're not smart enough. It's because you're taking in so much that you know too much. This is a good system for you not to get a low self-esteem because you have a freeze system. You just catch on to everything. You see it all. And that's not a bad thing. It's just being able to practice how to handle that I'm able to absorb a lot of information and then work through it in your fighting style. So let's start from the beginning here and get into what are some of the things when we start fighting into doubt. Now I'm going to start with doubt and then we'll work into depression and I'll show you how they're connected. Now, this sucker right here, I call these the enemies within. These means the reason why is when we stop these, they're not necessary. And I don't believe these are you. So a lot of us will try and take this on as though we identify as fear or excuses or doubt or distractions. I think these are outside sources. And when you stop them from when they come in, it's very effective. So as funny as it is, these little lines that are between, they matter. This is how you put a gatekeeper up. Now, how does doubt come in? It comes in through your motivation. What do I mean by that? I have a cool idea. Well, that'll never work. That's stupid. Oh, I guess it's not a good idea. Like you can see how quickly somebody can just add doubt to something that you were motivated to do. I want to lose weight. You'll never lose weight. Maybe you're right. How's your motivation? It's killed immediately. Like you can see very quickly that made me feel really bad. Maybe I'm not able to do it. And this means how much potential you put in, very low actions, confirming the results that it's a stupid idea, which makes me believe that you were right. All it takes is just a little bit of doubt. This thing is very, very powerful. So let's go ahead and talk about this thing. I'm going to share a little bit of coursework with you guys, and there's a whole bunch to this. But I want to get a little bit in for you guys to say, okay, I see what we got going on here. I want to talk about doubt here for a little bit. Let's see if I can shut this down. Here we go. Doubt is a false friend. Now, before I get too far into this, anybody ever feel doubt? Everybody feel like, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not worthy of things. Maybe I'm not as good as they are. Maybe my ideas are stupid, or I'm not pretty enough, or strong enough, or smart enough, or tall enough, or whatever enough. Anybody ever, am I talking to the right people here? Anybody ever have that self-doubt or feel like, man, maybe I'm not worthy? Anybody throw some ones in the chat if you guys are like, yep, I have done that shit. I have fucking done that. All right, good. So I'm with the right group of people here. All right, so let's get in here. Let's talk about what doubt is. The definition for doubt, to know what it is that doubt offers nothing but takes from you everything. That's the job. That's how you can identify what is it. Doubt offers nothing and takes from you everything. The way that it comes in, it'll attack your motivation. It'll ask repeated questions to make you start second guessing yourself. It'll break your confidence, overload your emotions, and it'll seem like it has your best interest in mind, but it gives you failure, uncertainty, and limiting beliefs. This is the best interest in mind. Like, I think maybe you should just stick to what you're good at. Maybe you should just not take any risk. That seems like stay in your comfort zone. So it's going to make your motivation to do anything better go away. Stay with what you know. Leave risk, embarrassment, failure, and avoid change. It makes you avoid things. In which case, I want you guys to pay attention to how that works, because it makes it so that its weakness that it has from you is if you believe in yourself or you have certainty in yourself. And so you're going to defeat it by catching it. And how do you defeat it? We're going to catch the offer. Now, let's go ahead and go through this a little bit, guys. I'm going to show you how to catch the offer. Anybody in here put anything up that is something I have doubt in myself over? Anything. Anybody in here? There's no wrong answer. So it's not like if you're doubting yourself right now, just bring that up. Maybe I'll say the wrong thing. Maybe it's going to be stupid. Maybe I'll look like an idiot. That's it right there. That's the guy.
Yeah, that's what I do a lot. Sorry, I can't type.
Yeah.
I'm across the room.
Say you're sorry, Mike. Say you're apologize. Yeah, that's silly. We don't need you to apologize for that. All right. So, good ones, good ones. Courtney, that's a really good one. Actually, I have something for you on that one. But let's see. Anybody give me one. Unmute, guys. Give me something where like I have doubt in myself. I'm not good enough because, or I can't do that, or my ideas are probably stupid, or I'm not enough because. Somebody give me one. You all have them. Everybody in here has them. We already did that. Anybody got
Filling
the
out 5 or 6 good job applications and not getting anybody to call me back as of yet or return my phone calls.
All right. So which part about is that doubt, like validation that those people aren't where you're supposed to be, or that you're not good enough because they didn't call you back in a time frame that you think they should? What's the doubt?
I ran through both that one.
Yeah,
The
you're
one
saying.
I killed was the um the one I killed was the wow, my brain just went blah. So the one that's still stuck around is the maybe it's not where I'm supposed to be,
Not where you're not
and
supposed
I
to.
was able to kill the other.
It's an interesting one. Not where you're supposed to be. How do we know? Anybody here know where they're supposed to be? Anybody? I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Where are we supposed to be?
Well,
Like,
based on what my parents and my siblings have told me, a lot of people my age already are married and have families while I'm still single.
well,
So
those are things you have. That's not where you are. Where are you
I'm
supposed to be?
stable enough to support myself, I guess. I don't know.
Well, are you still alive? Is anybody here not alive? Actually, let's just check real quick. Is anybody here not alive? Yeah, everybody looks like they're checking pulses and stuff. We look like we're good. This means you're still in the game. Jimmy's a zombie though. You're still in the game. You're still in the game right now. So let me just clear up where you're supposed to be right now. You're supposed to be where you are. Do you know why? Because that's where you are. And if you're going to do anything different about it, you have to start from where you are. So you're all where you're supposed to be right now. And there's something in right now you're supposed to be learning. This is the thing that helps you go to the next thing. So you're going to be where you're supposed to be next because you learned something right now. So you're all where you're supposed to be. That's why we're here learning together. So quit doubting that element of it. Now, let's go the other way with it. Let's check the offer. You're not where you're supposed to be. Now, is there any offer where right is in that sentence? Listen to the exact words I used. You are not where you're supposed to be. Am I telling you a destination, or am I simply saying you're just not doing something right? Can anybody see it? What is the suggestion there? Tico, you said no. Nate, you said no. No destination. You're just not where you're supposed to be. Well, where is it? Where is that? You didn't give me a place to be. You didn't show me a better way. You didn't give me a better suggestion. You actually haven't given me any direction at all. You just said you're just not where you're supposed to be. But that doesn't tell me where that is. Well, if that's the case, what's the offer then if somebody says you're just not where you're supposed to be? What are they offering you to do? What's the alternative? Do you see it? I don't either. There doesn't seem to be anything there. It's just you're just not in the right place. It doesn't say where the right place is. Well, they didn't call me back yet. No, they didn't. Maybe that's not where you're supposed to be either. All right. Yeah, but that means I'm not good. Well, all right. If you're not good, what is the offer if you were to take the offer to be not good? What do you get? Because on one hand, you have your potential for what your potential to do is create things, build things, get better, help people, have fulfillment in self, feel confident. You have that option. Or, like, no, you're just not good. What's the offer if I say you're not good? Anybody see it? What's the offer? Is there like an alternative training there? Is there a advancement in some way? Is some better way to do it? Yeah, there's no offer. You're not seeing that too. If you're catching the pattern here, there's no offer here. So then I have to go, well, on one hand, I have all this potential. And on the other hand, I have an offer for nothing. There's nothing there. I don't have anything to take. That means I have to pick now. You're not good enough. Well, compared to what? Well, I didn't have a comparison. I just said you're just not good enough. Well, there's no offer then. It's not until we start making up some nonsense that also when you start checking those, it doesn't make any sense. These things don't do anything. There's nothing there. Compared to what? We need to challenge this thing. We need to challenge it directly. You guys are forfeiting the beauty of what you are for nothing. You're trading all of your potential and all of your things that you're capable of doing for nothing. You're trading it for nothing. There's actually nothing there. You should quit your idea. That's stupid. Okay, if my idea is stupid, what's your offer? I don't have an offer. I just said your idea is stupid. Okay, my idea has potential to work there. And if it does work, I get a better job. I have a better life. I help more people. I feel fulfilled. I have all of I start tapping into the parts of myself that make me feel confident and believe in myself. I have all these good things that could come from if I go for it. But you just said my idea is stupid. Well, what's your offer? What's your idea then? Well, I don't have an idea. I just said your idea is stupid. What I'm trying to do is kill your motivation for anything that you have the potential to do, and I'm offering you literally nothing in return. Quite frankly, give up on everything that you're built to do for nothing at all. Challenge the offer. All right, now we have to choose though, okay? Now we have to choose. We see all of these things that people say you're not enough, you're not in the right place, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not good enough. You got all these you're not going to do it, you can't do it, that's a stupid idea. All of these doubts that are put inside of you. All right, let's look at it. On one hand, you can go say, fuck that. I'm going to do my potential. I'm going to go for my dreams. I'm going to fight for something I believe in. I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to believe in my people. I'm going to fight for my goals. I'm going to either lose weight or gain muscle, or I'm going to, go for that job and start my own business, or I'm going to build a dream and do some great things, or I'm going to start a family and be a great parent, or I'm going to go for something. There's something in me that I'm going to go for. And then you got all these offers for nothing at all. Well, now that you can see the choice, put one if you're going for your potential. You're going for what your passions are. You're going for believing in yourself. And put two if you choose nothing, because now you have to pick. Which one are you going to do? Are you going to go for the things that make you you, or are you going to go for guaranteed nothing? When you see these, I see a lot of ones in the chat. When you see these, it seems a lot easier to beat this. It seems easier to beat it when you see it. You're not enough. Well, compared to what? Now, when we get into comparisons, we get into bargaining, and that's a different training. But I just want you guys to catch when you have something that you like to do, or you have something that you're built inside that feels right, and someone tries to take it away from you. Challenge the offer. What are you offering me in return? And you can catch, because your motivation will start to go under attack. And so you're going to see this sucker is going to come in where someone's going to say not good enough to try to take away something that you're inspired or feel good about. It'll make you feel bad. Once you don't feel good about your idea anymore, your belief about whether I can do it or I can't do it starts to get corrupted. Then how hard you try starts to go way lower, because you limit what you believe you can do. Your actions become small and no longer massive. You start just doing a little bit of dabbling to see if it'll work. The results will be the results of dabbling and not really going for it, to reinforce your attitude and belief. That's really probably a stupid idea, which means it makes me feel bad because it's a dumb idea, because it's worth nothing. And so I just agreed with you. My idea is nothing. And so then we'll quit. Then we quit. And then what's that do? That changes the belief system for what I do are all stupid ideas, which then goes into my identity. It starts going to habits and behaviors, the beliefs and philosophies that I hold myself to. I'll forfeit my purpose in life. They'll start going into the things that start corrupting who I am or what I believe that I am. This starts getting all goofed up just because right here, this one damn line right here is where you challenge the offer. Well, what are you offering me? You're never going to make it. Okay, well, what are you offering? What's your idea? I don't have an idea. I just said you're never going to make it. Well, I see you're offering me nothing, so I'm going to go ahead and decline that offer. Thanks for the offer, but I have to pass. It's that little line right there to try to mess you up. That's just doubt by itself. And I want you guys to challenge doubt. Challenge doubt. What are you offering me? And if any of you have a good one, bring it up. What about this one? Now, when we get into comparison, that gets into bargaining. I'll get into that on a different day. But I just want you to catch just doubt by itself. So you can catch that one when you're not good enough versus what? What's your offer? And when you start doing unrealistic things or silly things, it makes it silly too. It's like, you're just making shit up. That's not a real thing. Can't get me with that. It's bullshit. Now, why is doubt connected to the grieving system of depression? Because we got denial, depression, anger, and bargaining. These are the pieces inside of us that when we're going through to get to acceptance, these are the parts that we get jammed up in. Now, with depression, doubt leads to feeling like you're not good enough. Right? You guys are with me, right? I'm not good enough. My motivations are stupid. I feel like I'm not good enough. And my belief system is I can't do it. I'm not good enough. Remember, I took the offer for nothing. I'm not good enough. But what does that do? You start to lose who you are. And when you lose who you are, let's see. Oh, there's a video of Andrea and myself doing a live. There we go. When we start going into the parts in here where you start getting into the depression element of yourself and you start going, dang, like I'm really hurting. Oh, am I not sharing screen right now? I'm not, am I? Look at me. I'm doing all this stuff, not sharing screen. All right. So we get in the depression element of ourselves. And this part right here is where the shame starts to stack. Now, what I want you to do to catch the depression element is understand what it is. When I found and we fight depression, the way that we understand that it seems to work is that it's the Atlas's burden. This depression thing right here is when you start stacking shame. And shame comes from doubt. I'm not good enough. Now, when you're not good enough, you start carrying the weight of the world on your neck. And the way that you catch it is catch the negative self-talk. It's prevention before intervention. There is a point with depression that when depression starts to stack, it's because all of the doubts that you have to make you feel not good enough start to shame stack, and then your negative self-talk becomes very, very loud. I'm a piece of shit. I'm not good enough. I just hurt people. I'm a bad person. I'm stupid. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm dumb. All the things that start stacking on top of yourself to make you feel not good enough, to doubt yourself and shame yourself into deeper and deeper submission. Catch the way you speak to yourself. If you do, you can still get into prevention because you're catching your self-talk before it gets too heavy. Now, what I mean by the intervention element is the way that this works is that it's just like if you were driving a truck in mud. Soon as you hit mud, if you start going back and forth, you can still pull yourself out of that before you get jammed up. But if you don't understand it, you just keep spinning your tires and you'll just start sinking until the frame hits the mud. Once your frame hits the mud, you're not getting out of there. You're done. And that means somebody has to get a tow truck and pull you out. That's intervention. It's the same thing with this. You get into apathy. And once you start hitting into apathy and the depression starts to stack on you, what that looks like is the doubt element of doubt offers nothing and takes from you everything, stacks up on top of you to create a personification of it in depression, which means you now become nothing and it takes from you everything. Doubt becomes you. And that doubt turns into shame, and that shame turns into identity, and the identity turns into apathy. And apathy is where you do not want to move. If any of you have hit depression, you understand not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to get off the couch, not wanting to do anything. And for any of you who have ever been in depression, the anxiety also starts to stack because you know you're supposed to be doing things and people don't understand and they'll judge. They'll call you lazy, they'll call you useless, and they'll just shame stack on top of you because even going to the bathroom is one of the hardest parts of the day. Because you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. You have so much pain stacked on top of you that you are now a personification of doubt. And you didn't catch it. You didn't catch it in time, and now you're stuck in the mud. You're stuck. And that's where someone like me or someone like one of our coaches in the Warriors Way, that's when people show up. That's when somebody has to come and get you. Once somebody has to come and get you, that's the intervention. Someone's coming to pull you out. And the way we have to do it is we have to start digging through all of the offers that you accepted that you're not good enough. And then we have to challenge what's the offer for all of them. And you'll start realizing you started accepting offers for nothing over and over and over. You kept accepting nothing and nothing and nothing again and nothing again. All of the potential to be what you're built to be, you kept taking the nothing. You kept sacrificing who you are for nothing until you became nothing. You have to pay attention to this. And there's pieces in this for our support systems, and there's pieces in this to be able to watch out for this shame stack. Watch how you talk to you. Now, put a 1 in the chat if you guys can admit you're not very fucking nice to you. Some of you are not nice to you. You look in the mirror and you don't see good. You see something you criticize, something not good enough. You should be more like this. You should be more like that. You're not good enough for that. You're too fat, or you're too ugly, or you're too stupid, or you're too poor, or you're too. And you guys start kicking your own ass. What's the offer for you to do that? What are you offering yourself when you start tearing you down? What's the benefit to it? Well, it motivates me. Really? Well, let's check the results. Because I bet you it's not very motivating. Kicking your own ass that way. It just tears you down. So you have to fight depression. It's the bully that you can't have in your head. It's the bully who needs to be challenged. And bullies don't stop when you just tell it to. Bullies don't stop. No, you have to fight depression. That's your biggest bully, and you can't have a home in there. Can't have a home in your head. You got to fight that because you have to do prevention before intervention. Start beating back the doubt. You have to start beating back. Now, let me give you guys some breathing room. Go easy on yourself. Acceptance is tough. You have to give yourself some grace. You got to practice removing shame and doubt and guilt and judgment. These things are the poison to healing. These negative self-talks, they take time to really stack up. But if you start removing these things and give yourself some grace for not being perfect, it's okay. It's practice, not perfection. Just keep doing more and more work. The stuff that has happened has already happened. We can't change what happened. That's not how time works. And so we have to work on our systems for accepting what things are and not accepting offers for nothing. Are you guys following me right now? I want you guys to at least catch this piece so you guys can see how this stacks up. Now, this goes into a control mechanism that's linked to depression, and that's the freeze system. And I want you guys to pay attention to at least this one trigger. We know fight. The flight one is the most common. That's retreat, suppress, and that's going to be hide. And we know what anger is. That's the fight one. Let's freak the fuck out on somebody and try and force control. Bargaining is fawning. That's going to be the negotiator. That's people pleasing and trying to control the conversations by moving towards the angry person, sacrificing who you are so other people are okay. You guys, some of you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one where you surrendered, you shut down. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not fighting anymore. I surrender. I give up. And this is the part of that where the doubt and the shame and the sadness and the overload and all of the stuff kicks in. And then you get caught up in that thing that makes it so you just give up. I'm going to go into this again, and I want to share with you this piece right here. So we get into the coping mechanisms, which is the connector to depression. That's the surrender. Now I'm going to go in. There's denial. Here's bargaining, anger, depression, and these are the signs for this. These are the traits to know that you've got doubt plus depression equals freeze and quit. That's how I know something is going wrong. That's how I can catch these ones. So the traits for this is where you shut down, the brain fog. I got overloaded. They start struggling to decide what to do because there's too much. It's the equivalent of playing dead. This is where I'm done. Not doing anything. They take way more time to process the information in the moment. They'll go numb, disassociate with events. They'll detach. They'll become immobile or silent. They'll struggle with worthiness to fight. There's nothing to fight for. I give up. I surrender. I'm not fighting anymore. They avoid decision making. They have a high self-shame. That's the shame stack we just talked about. They have low confidence. It leads to apathy. They don't have any need to fight or move. It gives up position, which means your beliefs and your goals. It gives up what it is that you want because you stopped fighting for them. They'll isolate themselves and space out more often. They tend to sleep and rest more because others judge them as lazy. And then they make themselves small. And what I mean by that is posture. And you can tell the difference for somebody who has a higher confidence or lower confidence because low confidence people will make themselves small. They'll just sit and they'll make themselves little, and they'll take up as little space as possible. And they don't want to be noticed. They don't want to be called on. They don't want to be seen. And when you make yourself small, it raises your cortisol and it makes it so that your stress receptors and your parts of you that don't feel good enough are now amplified. They've done studies for that where people who take up space or they take a lot of room up and they make themselves big, they have a higher aptitude for risk. They're more likely to go for things that, are a gamble or, maybe a little bit of there's a chance you may not win. Like, fuck it, I feel like I could win it. Your confidence will go higher because you feel worthy of taking up more space. But this defense style will make yourself smaller to try to get off of radar. Now, have you guys ever felt like this or seen this before? People who don't pick up, don't even look at me. I'm not even making eye contact. Sound familiar?
I do that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys know this system. You guys know this system. I want to raise your awareness of these things because I want you to start fighting back against them. I want you guys to see it. You're not broken. You're just not trained to fight them. But understand how doubt works so you can catch it before it starts to tear you apart. You guys can simply just decline the offer because you challenged it. You looked at it and said, what are you offering me? Nothing. There's no offer there. Well, I'm going to keep going then. I'm going to keep going for something that has a chance to succeed. The guarantee nothing, I feel okay and I'm very comfortable with declining that. I can respectfully decline. Thank you for the offer, but no. This isn't rude. It isn't aggressive. You don't have to do that. You can just simply go, you're not offering me anything. Now, when does this get really hard? When people close to you do it. Somebody who's supposed to be on your team, a parent, a guardian, a best friend, a lover. When the person who's supposed to be in your corner is the one who's like, you can't do that. You'll never make it. That's a dumb idea. Because they don't necessarily understand it, they'll try and take away the belief in yourself that you would have, that it's possible. They'll attack your motivation, but what are they offering you instead? They'll use terms like safety and security, but that's not what it is. That gets into fear. That's another training, but people will try and give you bullshit. They'll try and take away what you believe you can do. Anybody have one you want to put up? Let's go ahead and kill some together. There are doubts inside of you right now. Let's challenge some of the offers. You're not in the right place. Well, where's the right place? Because I'm right where I should be. If I'm gonna do something different, it starts from right here. So I'm right where I need to be to change things. What's your offer? Well, I mean, I'm not putting you anywhere else. I'm just saying you're not where you're supposed to be. Good. There's nothing there. Big Mike, give me one. Let's kill one together.
Doubt that I'm good enough to do stuff with computers and stuff. Like, I always doubt my own skills.
Well,
And then
what's
when I get it done, I'm like, wow, I did do it, or I can do this. But then again, the next day I'm the same place. I'm too stupid to do this. I don't know why I'm trying. Like, really? We just did this yesterday.
sure. So what? So let's challenge the offer. What's the offer itself? Which one of those is your offer? You're
There
too
isn't
stupid.
one.
No, let's see it. You're too stupid. Is that's the challenge? That's the offer. It's put on the table. We can't do that. You're too stupid. That's the offer. Now, what are they giving you? What's the what do you get if you take that offer? You're too stupid. What do you get?
Nothing.
So then now you have to
All it
choose.
does is make me feel I don't want to say worthless, but yeah, worthless.
No, it reinforces a
Yeah,
belief
that's
that
what I
you're
was trying to.
worthless.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
So let me break that down for you so you can see what you're doing. All right. You're too stupid to do that, but I really wanted to do this thing. I wanted to work on computers. Well, it makes me feel like the belief system that I'm worthless may be true. So what it's doing is revealing a belief system that a feeling from doubt is poisoning. If you can challenge, I'm not too stupid to do that. I'm actually really good at doing that, and it makes me want to do it more. I feel good when I do it, and I'm very useful. Now I have a conflicting belief system. Am I useless or useful? Because if I cut this offer off and then I see the results from me doing the work, how I feel when I succeed, and that it worked, now I have a conflicting belief system. Now we have to go in. Are you really too stupid or are you competent at what you're doing? So, Mike, we got to pick one. When you did it and it succeeded and you helped people, how did you feel? Like, what were the things that came from that?
I was very proud of myself and happy because I like to help. That's the main reason I do it.
Proud. I'm helpful. I make other people's lives better. I feel fulfilled. But again, I'm proud of myself. That's
Yeah.
one offer. Or you're
When you
too
walk,
stupid.
when you walk into a grocery store and half the registers are down because of one cable, and you fix that cable, and you're like, dude, you just fixed my store. Thank you. And it's just like, wow, I really did that.
But how did you feel when you did it?
Um, like I said, very proud. Confident.
Good. That's one offer. When you go for it, you feel like this. Now, what if you just felt too stupid and never tried? How would you feel? Would you feel useful, proud of
No,
yourself, helpful?
shame.
So this is the offer. You just feel like shit. Well,
Yeah,
let's look at it. We'll pick one then, Mike. Do you want to help people and do good things that make you feel proud of yourself and useful? Or do you want to just ignore it, push yourself down because you're too stupid to do it, do nothing and be nothing? Which one feels right?
help people.
All right, cool. So now we have a conflicting belief system. Are you useful because when you help people it feels good, or are you useless because when you don't try it feels bad? Which one is you?
Helpful because I love helping people. That's what I've always done.
Good.
I've put myself in bad situations, almost homelessness, just to
Well,
help somebody else.
that's poor choices. And so this is where
Yeah.
don't give yourself a trophy for doing dumb things.
No, no,
I'm
I know.
I'm just
But
saying your heart's in the right place, but your boundaries aren't useful yet. You have to get strong
yeah,
boundaries. So let's get into the part though, like your potential itself. When you help people, that's good. When you start adding in another thing, we can fight that one too. But let's just beat one at a time here. Apply a
okay.
new belief system. Are you useless or are you useful?
Useful.
Now they can't both be there, so only one can sit. That spot, you can't have both.
Right.
So are you useful or are you useless? You have to pick
Useful.
one. Now, if you choose useful, you do more things that make you feel confident for usefulness. And if you feel useless,
Okay.
you take more offers for nothing. But you have to pick one. All of us have to pick one.
Right.
So, Big Mike, if you're going to go for it, just help people, just offer your help. Some people will get it and some people won't, but that doesn't mean that you became useful because other people don't understand things.
Right.
And in fact, it's not their job to. That's okay. That guy's not a computer repair guy. You know, he doesn't
Right.
understand it. So this is the challenge. What challenge everything, man? Challenge every thought. Challenge everything. Challenge me. Challenge you. Challenge all of it. Be defiant. Break your own rules. That belief system doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. And when you challenge it to see if it is authentic or not, it's not. Now you have to pick. What's the offer? Nothing. It just makes me do nothing. But what if you go for it? I feel proud of myself. I feel useful. I feel good. I feel helpful. I feel like I'm doing what I'm meant to do. Well, pick one. Nothing or all that good shit you just said.
Right.
It seems simple, and simplicity is genius when you're fighting these things. Somebody give me another one. Give me something else. Let's see. Give me anything. I haven't been stumped on this yet. I've been doing this for a long time. No one's given me a doubt that's not beatable. Give me something where you do not feel good enough about yourself. Courtney, you put a good one up.
Yeah, I
And-
was gonna say, can we go back to maybe the parenting thing because it kind of resonates for me, like
I want to give you
because of
guys
where I
give you,
came from.
good. I want to give you one. I want to give you some information to challenge a belief system that I'm not a good mom. I want to challenge something. I've been doing this for a while, and what I've noticed is the moms that think they're already awesome and they don't think there's anything they have to worry about for fucking their kids up have the most fucked up fucking kids I've ever met. But the moms that are the most worried about not being good, the ones that are concerned, like, am I messing this up? Am I not doing a good job? Am I, failing in this area? They try 100 times harder than the ones who think they're already great. The best moms I've ever seen were like, I don't know if I'm doing it right, so I'm going to try as hard as I can. The more you are second guessing, the more effort and work that you put in. I would probably go the other way on this. Because you're worried about it, probably makes you better at it. So quit second guessing that you're not doing a good job, because being worried is a part of a good job for a mom. You should be concerned and you should care. That means you're caring. It means you're compassionate. It means you're concerned. It means you are looking out for the well-being of your kin. That sounds like good mom stuff. Maybe I'm reading into it wrong. That's just the most common way I see it done. Courtney, give me your offer. What is the thing that you're saying to you? And let's see, maybe it's different than that.
My biggest thing is trying to break the cycle of how I was raised, and am I doing the right thing by doing that?
So this is a tough one. How many ways are there to do this wrong? Parenting. I'm a parent. A lot of you guys are parents. How many ways are there to do it wrong?
Every way.
Yeah, there's like a
Literally
bajillion
every
ways.
way.
You can fuck this up in like millions and billions of ways. Doing it right, there is no right. Just letting you know. The only thing that we can do is train our children to be able to also work on their things too. Just like you have to beat the sins of your parents, no matter what you do, we're gonna fuck our kids up. I'm gonna give you another thing. I have one of the guys in my group, excellent dad, wonderful dad, did everything right. Best parents for the best teachers, best counselors, best everything, a perfect life. And one of their sons has a gambling addiction because his life was so good. He doesn't feel like he deserves it. And so he does things to sabotage his life. Even if you do everything right, it's fucked up. Are you saying there is no right way to do this? If you do everything perfect, your kids feel entitled, spoiled, and they're rotten. And then they start sabotaging because they have things they know they didn't earn. Doing things hard makes people good. So it's okay for you to do things difficult and give them a hard time and have them do challenging things and figure things out and give them the space to do that. Now, there's a difference between, challenging your children to grow and teaching them hard things versus abuse. Not the same. So you don't have to beat the shit out of your kids or shame them or beat them up or tell them that they're not good enough or they're a bunch of idiots or stupid. If there are curses from your parents, you have a choice to break. I had to do it too. I would take all the things from my parents, and a lot of it was what not to do. But that doesn't teach me what to do. So if you have an area in this where you're second guessing yourself, parenting is a whole class on its own. Courtney, give me one of the things that you second guess or you're the most doubtful for. It could be bedtimes, it could be conversations, it can be discipline, it could be the status for your relationship over children, whatever it would be. Put one down. What do you got?
I think my biggest one is making sure I'm disciplining her correctly.
Okay. How do you do it now? What's your strategy?
The wrong way.
Well, what is it?
Okay. So I try, depending on the situation, I try to sit her down and explain to her why she's getting in trouble. And sometimes it results in her getting spanked, but that's one of the things I'm trying to break because we were abused as kids.
Sure. So hitting your kid probably doesn't feel like the best way. Now, there's a difference between correction, spanking, and abuse. Just so you know, there is a difference. A correction is one thing. Animals, all creatures correct, just so you know. Now, abuse, if you're beating your child until there's bruises or bloody or some, that's a very different thing than like, hey, don't do that. That's a very different correction. Okay. So if you're doubting yourself for correcting, that's a different thing. There are times, especially when they're a little younger, when it's necessary because children are homicidal or suicidal. They want to drink everything. Oh, what's that? It's don't drink that. You will fucking die. Like they don't know better.
Or jump off of everything.
Yeah, don't jump out there. You fucking die. Like they're suicidal when they're little. So sometimes we have to catch them. We have to stop them from hurting themselves because some of them we can't fix. Now you can get fucked up a little bit. Life teaches you lessons from jumping off the couch, but jumping off the roof, that's a little different. So there's just things that we got to try and catch. It's one thing if they're, messing around in, the food pantry. It's a different thing if they're in the chemicals. And so there's certain things you have to be a little more stern with. Fair enough. Otherwise, life teaches lessons pretty hard. How old is your daughter?
She's 6.
She's 6. All right. So it's going to be less correction is needed. Like, because she's probably past the point of drink the bleach. So she's probably not going to be doing those things. And you can explain, don't drink bleach. That's not good. And she'll get like, okay, poison. Understand. They've been around enough and seen enough shows. Fair enough. But we don't have to go so hard on them. And I have 3 daughters. We got 3 girls here. And you can talk to Andrea. We don't have to go hard to do correction, especially young girls. You guys all understand you really don't have to go that hard on you. Like Courtney, how hard do I really have to go in on you for you to learn the lesson? Do I have to scream at
Me?
you? Yeah, do I have to call
Yeah.
you names? I have to tell you you're a
No.
piece of shit and that you're useless
No.
and stupid and you're a moron, and then now you'll learn?
No, but
Oh,
she's every bit like me and she's stubborn, so some
so
of that
go
stern yelling is okay.
so yeah, it can be. But there's also unmet needs that are happening for both of you. What did you need? What kind of mom did you need that you didn't get?
One that was more present,
So be that. Be
one that
present.
actually wanted to spend time with me instead of making it feel like it was just another job.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to do punishment for that. You can find understanding. Do you think that she wants to hurt herself? No. Well, then just understand, hey, sweetheart, I love you, but that's going to fuck you up. And as long as it's not a life and death thing, we let our girls fuck themselves up. I'll be like, all of you, this stove is hot. Don't touch this. It will burn the shit out of you. Okay. Now I have spoken, and then I'll just sit with the med kit. one of them is touching the stove. It's a guarantee. One of them is guaranteed touching the stove. So I just have the med kit ready. And I'm like, did you all see your sister touch the stove? They're like, oh my God, yeah. She's like, oh my God, it hurts so bad. You're like, I know, give me your hand. It's okay. Now she
See,
learned.
and from the way that I was raised, it's almost like I have to step back and remove myself from the situation because we were abused and we were constantly yelled and screamed at. And once I tell my daughter something, I don't like I can't after I said it nicely 5, 10 times and you still deliberately did something, something in me just snaps and I want to scream and I have to walk away or I'll freak out.
It's because you're not a leader. You're just making demands. You're not leading. Where's dad? Is dad around? All right, so
Nope.
dad's not around. So it puts you in a position where you have to try and be the masculine. This is a difficult thing for you ladies. This is not a good spot. It's tough, Courtney. Because you being in a masculine, it's a very different thing with the boys. With our girls in the house, they'll challenge Andrea. They'll argue. And baby, do they argue with you? Especially the middle one, they'll argue with you.
Yeah, they push up.
You muted yourself. But yeah, they'll push on her. They'll argue with her. Baby, how hard do I have to go to calm them down?
Not at all. It's just a firm conversation. But I think one thing I've learned, I put it in the chat for a very long, and I still do. Like, I have very wavy lines with the girls. Like, it's hard for me to like stick to what I tell them. Like, there's going to be a consequence where Rick is that person. Like, there's no moving. Once what he says is what it is. And that was a missing piece with me and my girls. I'm not able to give that to them. I'm like all over the place. It's hard.
See, and that's why I think that it's very important that a child has both their mother and father, regardless if they're together, they need to have that male figure in their life and they need to have that female figure in their life.
Yeah. Dads are needed. There's no studies that are shown that dads are not needed. All studies are showing that dads are extremely needed. And the system right now,
my daughter doesn't want anything to do with her.
that's one of the sins of the mother. That sucks. Those are the pieces for you to not kick your ass, but these are just when you were doing your best, you made poor choices. It was also probably a representation of what you believed your worth was at the time, which is a very painful conversation. And so that's going to be a little bit tougher because like you were probably not in a very healthy place when you chose that partner. And that's,
Yep.
that's the hard part about it is right now you're in a spot where you have to level yourself up because I want to give you a little bit of hope here. You have one little girl. Okay. And just to give you an idea, Andrea, like the daughters that I'm talking about, I didn't make them. Just so you guys know, I raised them. I'm a stepdad. So I took on Andrea's 3 daughters. Okay. One of them is not even her daughter. That's actually that's her ex's kid who they didn't even want her. And so we took her in. And Brittany lives here. Her cousin lives here too. We've got 5 girls in this place. And me. There's no boys. Phil's seen it. It's nonsense here. And so for me to take that on, there are good men looking for good women. Be a good woman, raise your value as a human, like be a good woman, and you'll attract a good man who will take your daughter in and show her safety, security, and be stable. This is part of your journey right now. Where you're at is where you're supposed to be so you can level up and find stability in yourself to find stability in a good mate, a man who's going to be equal or better than you. That's hypergamy. That's how you choose a mate. All right, so what you used to do doesn't work, and what mom did doesn't work. But there's a strength inside of us that makes it so our kids need safety, security. But demands are just bad bosses. It's not good leadership. I don't make demands of our daughters. I give them choices. I'm not mad at them either way. You can either do this or I fuck your whole universe up. And I'm not mad at you on either of these. But would you like your universe fucked up today? Because I can do that. But I'd rather you just have a good day. So which one would you like to do? And don't deny the power of a little bit of bass in your voice. Us boys got an advantage.
See, but there's a different type of bass that comes from a man that a woman just cannot.
Agreed. You do that thing. Let me just guess. When you get mad, do you do that thing where you talk
Yep.
with your teeth clenched?
Yep.
The teeth clenched yell. That's the mom.
The look, and the clenching of the teeth. Yeah.
You ain't gonna do shit.
Nope.
And so it's a different thing. It's tough because you try and take on the masculine role, but it doesn't fit and it's disingenuous and you have to overcompensate and it doesn't work. I would argue that your daughter probably needs more nurture than she needs meanness. We're doing it in the wrong way. We're raising our kids backwards. There's something that she needs. It's not to be yelled at. There's something that she needs, but you're not listening to understand. You're demanding to control. But she needs the mom that you needed. You have a chance to be the hero in the story that you never had. I'll say it again. You have the chance with your kids to be the hero in the story for them that you wish you had. Your 6-year-old probably just wants mom to love her, not tell her that she's not doing something else right 5 times in a row.
See, and things used to be really good with us before my niece and nephews came into the house. So my mom ended up going to jail for child abuse again, on one of my nephews, which is one of my brother's sons, and he called the cops. And because I'm the only responsible adult, all these children came to my house. And after about a week, I was like, no, my daughter's acting different. And I see that pattern again. I'm enabling my brothers again. And I'm not going to sit here and raise my brother's children. I told them, you're going to get your shit together and you're going to get your kids back because I have plans to move and better my daughter's life and better my life at the end of May. And if they can't figure something out with these children, unfortunately, they're going to foster care.
It's a tough position to put everybody in. And I can see the curses in your family's bloodline that you have to break. They're hard. And if you meet any of my family members, we can relate to the abusive atmosphere. I understand where you're coming from. I did not grow up in a fairy tale. I grew up in inner city Detroit, not a fun area. My family was not wealthy. We did not do well. This was a very, very not good environment. And so I can relate to you as far as poverty, as far as struggle, as far as anger, as far as abuse, as far as growing up in Sparta. I get it. But being a Spartan woman, there's opportunity for you to be able to grow through the curses of our parents. Doing what our parents did is most likely going to result in what our parents had. You're going to have to learn a new way. Those kids are fucked because your parents don't know what the fuck they're doing. And look at what it takes. Can we just be fair here for a second to all our parents? None of us took a child psychology class. We just like to fuck. 2 different things. One has nothing to do with child development at all. In fact, it has nothing at all to do with it. So yet doing one results in having the responsibility for the other. That's very, very different. It's kind of like, I really enjoy eating at this restaurant, so now I should be a farmer. Those have nothing to do with each other. And so now you've got an entire farm from people that didn't know how to farm at all. They had no clue how to farm. And now you have to learn how to farm better from bad teachers. You're in the right place to ask hard questions. Like in this one, I would probably start going a different direction because you're filled, it seems, more with fear. It's not doubt. It's just you don't know what to do. You just have poor training. That's not your fault, by the way. You can only do what you know. You can't make choices that you didn't know existed. How are you supposed to know better when you've never seen better? You can't make a decision that you never knew about. Can't do that.
Well, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier when someone gives you that option. It doesn't really help when I have my brother so close to me and he knows what we went through. And when shit doesn't go his way, he's quick to be like, you're acting just like your mother.
That's it. See, now the judgments that are designed to control you. What's the offer?
There is no offer.
Well, then you're going to take that shit? Block
No,
that.
and that's
This
why
is where
I went straight back and said, if you want to continue this, I have no problem putting your child in foster care now because I don't have to do this for you.
it's very true. But he's going to try and shame you into submission by controlling you to make you feel bad for who you are so you do what he wants. This is very toxic behavior, and having a good defense and good boundaries around this. Now, this is difficult because the kids end up in a shit life because, dad has no willingness to do better. And you're not wrong. There's probably a big part of your existence that was enabling him to not need to. There's no accountability on his end because you probably took a lot of the responsibility on yourself. Which means your good heart was taken advantage of because you most likely, if I'm reading you right, have shit boundaries on how to hold your ground. This is probably extremely uncomfortable for you because it goes against everything that you normally would stand for. How long were you the rock for the family?
Oh, the last 30 years.
Mm-hmm. So what emotions are you allowed to have? What emotions are
No.
rocks supposed to have?
I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be you. In fact, whenever you're you, I will shame you and call you something that hurts your feelings. So that way you go back to doing what I tell you to do. There's an armor that you're going to need to develop against this to stop people from blame, shame, and judgment. Watch out for the criticisms to make you feel like you're less. So that way you surrender and no longer fight. Remember, to disagree is not to be disrespectful. I hear what you're saying, I just don't agree with you. I can respectfully decline your offer. Do you see it?
Yeah.
This
I
is
think a
going
lot
to
of
be
it comes
weird for
across
you.
with my tone.
The tones are important, and I think you guys all know that. Ladies, you guys are all very tone sensitive, especially when guys start talking to you a certain way. It goes both ways. Your tones matter too. Your nonverbals, just in case you ladies don't know, your nonverbals are very fucking loud. Your eye rolls, your arm crosses, your shoulder shrugs, your those things matter. They're loud. They're very loud. And so those things are there too. The way that we are, our body language, our mannerisms, these things all matter, but it also is revealing us to ourselves. It's not the circumstance that defines you. It reveals you to yourself. This is the Epictetus compass. The circumstances do not define you. You're in a circumstance, but that's not who you are. But the way you handle it, that's who you are. And this is where the honesty element of who we are to ourselves comes into play. Now, when you see it, it reveals the choice on which direction do you want to go. It's okay to start with, not the way my mom or dad did it. That's okay to start there. I'd rather make a new mistake than keep making the same old one over and over again. Because I always have an opportunity to learn. None of these kids have compassion. Nobody listens to these kids. I bet you nobody even gives a fuck. You're doing all the things that they need to survive, but not the things they need to thrive. You guys are so used to living in hell, it's hard to speak about heaven. You're climbing out of a pit. How are you going to tell me what the top of a fucking mountain feels like? I don't know what you're talking about. Does it sound
That
familiar?
was talked about at church last night.
Yeah, but it's unrelatable. I don't think you've ever been out of the pit. You've always been in a
Okay.
deficit. How are you going to tell me about climbing up to heaven? Can I just get the fuck out of hell for 5 minutes? Move away from pain is most likely your motivation style.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me about making $1 million, but I sure know what overdraft feels like. Right? I know what move away from that feels like, way more than let's go ahead and thrive with a bunch of money. So now you're going to have to challenge the parts of yourself who say, I don't know if I can do this. Well, what's the other option? You want to quit? Give up? Let your daughter drown and throw her in the streets?
No, she's the only thing that keeps me fighting.
Right. Not an option then. Doubt's not one of the offers I can take right now. These
There's
kids
been
need
several
need
times
compassion.
where I wanted to I wanted to give her up for adoption and I wanted to kill myself. But
You need a support system. Courtney, are you in our Discord?
yeah,
Find a friend. We have strong women in there. Some of them are fucking bananas. Not all of them are good. There's people that are thrown in there that are just trying to figure their shit out. But I got a couple in there, like Christy Halleck in here, and I got a couple other women in there who we've trained. There's a couple good ones in there who will at least lean on you in a way to make it so you can see a better way. And Christy had to do a lot of the same shit you did. You're not the first one with the story. It's just when you do it all alone, it's impossible. Amy's a good one. I have all the people with their cameras turned off, so I can't see everybody. But Courtney, there's hope because you prayed for it and you showed up. You just need to see a better way. And you have to have better armor against people who want to control you with blame, shame, and judgment. You're being just like mom. Well, who are you being like? What's your offer? Narcissists are always calling everybody narcissists. When people are doing the very thing that they're blaming you for to make you feel bad because you have a good heart. You just need solid boundaries. I hear you. I just don't agree with you. But there's some warrior women in here. There's a support system that exists. A part of the way that prayers work, just in case you're wondering, God doesn't drop deposits. He gives you opportunities. Okay? If you're waiting for someone to save you, there's not going to be a door-to-door salesman looking for a wife. Doesn't work like that. But there is support groups and there are people who are all trying to get better. And as you start going on your journey of growth, you'll attract other people who are growing. But there is going to be this mountain that's on you, that Atlas burden. You're carrying everybody else's weight. You are going to have to figure out which shit's yours and which shit's not. And then you have to let some stuff go. There are curses in you that do need to get broken. Your daughter doesn't need more discipline. She needs compassion.
my biggest thing is not feeling like I'm worthy enough for the support because I've done this myself my whole life.
This is perfect, Courtney. You're not worthy enough for support. What's the offer? If you go for support, there's potential for hope and growth and love and information and wisdom and compassion and kindness and being a better mother and breaking the curses. There's all this opportunity and hope. Or I'm not worthy of it. Well, what's that offer? What's the offer? If you say I'm not worthy of it, what do you get?
Nothing.
Now we see this is how doubt works. Well, now you have to choose. Are you going to go for hope and actually give your daughter and yourself a fighting fucking chance because you're not a damsel anymore and your warrior is going to come out? Or are you going to choose unworthiness and be nothing? Which one would you like to do?
I'd like us to have a fucking empire.
Yeah. Well, join in, find a friend. Ask so that you can receive. Fight against the offer for nothing. Challenge I am not worth to see who shows up. I bet you somebody does. God works in opportunities, but he does not ask easy things. You have to do things that are hard to get what you want. The circumstance does not define you, Courtney. It reveals you to yourself. Are you a warrior or are you a damsel? Are you courageous or are you a coward? You will reveal you to yourself.
I'm chilling in purgatory right now.
Well, you have an option now. You prayed for hope. Now you have a support team and people who will be there for you. Are you going to take it or are you going to shun it? You get to pick.
I'd like to take it and run with it for 500, Alex.
Well, we can do that for $500. So I'll invoice you tonight and I'll get you all set.
Okay, cool.
I'm
Can you
just-
set me up with a payment plan? Because we're broke over here.
all right. Well, we'll do it a little pro bono for now. Look for a
Sweet.
friend. Look for somebody who has had to fight hard things and do hard things so that we can see that it's possible. I have women in here who have done it. There are women in here right now who I have gone and battled with, done very, very difficult battles. And so there's hope. It's in here, but you just had to put it out there. It takes courage to have the conversation we're having right now. But you have to choose against doubt to do something difficult. Well, I don't know if I'm worth it. What's that offer? Well, nothing. Well, are you going to choose nothing, or are you going to choose going for it? It's not just your life on the line. So it's a pretty important decision. Let's try it. Anybody got a volunteer that'll help Courtney out? Christy, I see Christy's hand. I see people who will help you. Randy,
Yeah,
I see
Christy
Randy's
knows a
hand.
little bit. Christy's already heard
Amy's
me
hand.
bitch quite a bit.
Well, it's not about bitching. It's about growing. Now, I just want to make sure you ladies understand my job in your life. My job is not to validate your fucking emotions. My job is to pull you out of your nonsense. Now, there's other women here, they'll happily validate your emotions. That's your friend. Your friend will validate your emotions. I'm going to push you out of your shit. That's good, though. I call it hammer in the blanket. Sometimes you need to get hit real hard, and then your friend will be like, it's okay. He hit us too, and it feels good later.
That's borderline abuse.
It's tough love. You have to challenge these things. You're in a hard thing. These curses are breakable. These girls will put you on mission to challenge yourself. You're going to have to learn boundaries. You're going to have to. You have to learn that boundaries are not shameful. Boundaries are not disrespectful. Boundaries are not bad. In fact, it's the opposite. You get respect when you hold your boundaries. And the only people who do not like that you hold boundaries are the ones who got anything from you for not having them. They hate when you start telling them no when you are enabling them to do nothing and be less. When they have to be accountable for their own things, they're going to get mad at you for it. That's okay. They're supposed to get mad. It's part of the plan. That's where they should be. You're not where you're supposed to be. That's where they're supposed to be. You have some volunteers here. I really do want to encourage you, ladies. I'm going to challenge you guys really hard. It's not a group for bitching. If you go in there to bitch and complain, you reveal you to yourself. Are you going to do some shit? Or are we going to damsel or are we going to warrior? Which one are you going to choose? You got lives that depend on it. If you need your feelings validated, you're going to just hurt your kids. No, it's time for you to be able to grow. You're going to have to break the curses. I'm not going to do what my parents did. I can say this confidently because Andrea has seen me break every curse that my family has. Both sides, by the way. Lean in on your warrior side. There's a fighter in you. But there's a difference between being tactical and reckless. I'm going to show you something funny. Nate in here, he made these for us. It's a jar. It says TF on it. You may not be able to see this. So this is a jar. It says TF on the jar. This stands for what we call in our Warriors way, tactical fucks. I don't give a fuck about everything. I got to be tactical with my fucks. I can't just give a fuck. I can't throw fucks around like confetti. I don't have enough fucks to give about everything. I got too much shit to do. I can't give a fuck about everything. So inside are these little fucks right here. You can see it? Got little fucks in here.
Yeah.
But I only have like 10 of these in here. I don't have many. So I don't have an abundance of fucks to give for everything. So I must be tactical with the fucks that I give. Some things, I don't give a fuck. But some things require me to use one of my tactical fucks because it's important. It's worth fighting for. And so you can't be bitching and complaining about everything. I don't have that many fucks to give. But there are certain things that are worth giving a fuck for. And I'll take one of my 10 that deserves a fuck. Be tactical, not reckless. It's not about throwing your feelings everywhere. It's not about, I gotta be validated. Stop it. You're not a damsel at the moment. Your kid needs you. We have to work in on being a little more solid and stable because you're the only thing that she's got. If dad's that guy who doesn't want to be in her life, that sin unfortunately falls on you. But you have to break that curse too. Those are choices that you made without knowing. You didn't know what you were doing. It was impulsive. You were most likely, if I got you read right, you started dating a guy who was probably needed help or needy and was happy to take all the things that you were willing to give because you found value in yourself by giving to others, because that's how you found worth, is by being helpful. And you've been the rock for everybody. So if you are needed, it means they won't leave you.
Yes, and unfortunately, I was in the process of switching birth controls in my birth control.
Well, having sex with a dude.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah,
I
come
knew what
on.
I was doing.
Yeah, that
I
birth
knew what I
control
was
got you. No, it was the penis.
doing.
Silly.
But it was, yes, it was my own fault.
That's okay. Accountability is the road to healing. Yeah, I did that. All right. So what am I going to do with it? I'll save one of these. This is for your daughter. We can give a fuck about that one. That one matters. She's
I
important.
love that.
She's valuable. She's worth fighting for. With the situation that you guys have, odds are she doesn't need more anger. She probably just needs some compassion. You know what? Kids are supposed to make messes. They're supposed to make mistakes. They're supposed to do stuff like that. It's our ability to accept things that are and show love and compassion that you never had. You have an opportunity now to do things different. Andrea and I have to do the same thing. Her dad wasn't around, so she has to learn how to respect a man. That was a big fight for her. We fought for a long time on that. She didn't know how to deal with me. And I wasn't as solid as I needed to be for them. And I learned I had to be more stoic, more understanding, and not control everybody. I don't control anything. And my not needing to control everybody else has made it so that everyone else feels more solid. You can be what you are, Courtney. I'm not mad at you. I'm not sad at you. I'm not angry at you. I don't judge you. You're where you are, and you're where you're supposed to be to grow. You're in it right now, but you have to challenge these doubts about worthiness. I'm not my mother. You're not your mother. But people will try and shame you into surrender. Today's lesson is for you. Put your armor up against the doubts that make you feel like you are not good. That's shame. And people will try to make you submit by making you feel not good enough, so you stop fighting. You need boundaries. No is a complete sentence. That's a complete sentence. No, period. And that's okay. These kids don't have love in their life. You remember what it felt like to not be wanted. It's tough. That's not your fault. But you do get to choose how you're going to handle it. Lean in on support. I'm going to give you something a little more biblical. I'm about to jump into the men's group for the Bible stuff. We use this it's in Proverbs. If you guys know what the Bible is, Proverbs is Solomon's memes. It's the memes of the Bible. So if you guys like memes, if you guys Facebook scroll and do meme therapy, this is the Bible's memes. So here's a meme for you that we use in the Warriors Way. And Courtney, this is helpful for you right now. It's Proverbs 24. This is in the NLT version, so I know it's translated differently. Verses 5. It says, "The wise are mightier than the strong, and those with knowledge grow stronger and stronger. So don't go to war without wise guidance. Victory depends on having many advisors." Lean in on this group, ask for opinions, get a bunch of points of view. You don't have to listen to everybody, but it's good to hear as many points of view as possible so you can make choices that you never knew about. Victory depends on many advisors. If you're going to go to war and take on people's lives for you and you become the mother that you're meant to be, you're going to have to get information that you were never given access to before. Victory depends on having counsel from many advisors. You now have access to people like me and the people in this room and people in our Discord that you never had access to before. I would encourage you, less bitching, more inquisition. I need to know more. There's things I don't know, but I need as many points of view as I can get. Now, it's very important. A lot of people will be sharing opinions. Take in the opinion, but this is not meaning you have an obligation. There's a lot of things that I listen to that I don't agree with, but that doesn't mean I have to do it. I can simply say thank you and then do which version I still feel is best. There's no disrespect. I'm just doing what I believe is right. With your daughter, though, I don't think she needs you to be telling her the things she's doing bad. I think she needs somebody to tell her that she's wanted because dad doesn't. And for the women in here who knows what it feels like to have dad not want you, that burden is heavy. Love that little girl. Go make some messes together. Lean on your support system, okay? You have one now.
I will do that.
Okay?
Okay.
Reach out. Challenge your doubts. Watch your negative self-talk. Quit being so fucking mean to you. Life's already hard enough. Why do you guys have to kick your own ass too?
That definitely hit home because if I was having this conversation with my daughter, not the same conversation I'd be having with myself. And I think I need to have the conversation with myself like I'd be having it with my daughter.
Yeah. You have a journal?
Yep.
Good. Look at how you talk to you in your journal. This will reveal you to yourself. You're not looking, a lot of it's bullshit, just so you know, it's all nonsense. But there's a few belief systems in there. Those are worth paying attention to. I'm a bad mom. I'm a bad person. I'm a fuck up. I'm not good enough. I'm whatever. Those are all belief systems that are plugged in there. How many of them do you really think are serving you? How many of them are
Absolutely
actually
none
you?
of them.
How many are yours? Because we aren't born with those. Somebody had to put those in there and then you had to agree.
Yep.
We can go back, just like how Mike did. We can go back, challenge the offer of what it is, and then choose something authentic. The fact that you're still fighting makes you a better mom than many. Any of you who are still fighting for your kids, that's good mom shit. Yes, you had to walk to the edge of the cliff. You know what that looks like. And then you looked at death. You looked at quitting. And you turned around. That's warrior shit. You could have gone. You could have given her up and you could have killed yourself. You could have, but you chose to fight. That's good mom shit. The dads in here who have done that, that's good dad shit. Taking on somebody else's life. That's good parent shit. I would argue that these kids need less don't stop. You can't do that. They need more understanding. They still need to be firm. You still have to hold your boundaries. But we don't have to be cruel. Maybe we can do something on this later, baby. Maybe we can do something on this where we talk about like the stuff that we do with our girls. We're doing successful with our girls. They're all 4.0 students. They're all athletes. They're all doing very well. They're well adjusted. They're good with chores. We don't go hard on them. We don't discipline very difficultly, but we have hard conversations with our girls.
Yeah.
Maybe we
I
can do
agree.
something like that for everybody.
I think there's power in this too. One thing I want to mention too, having all teenagers, one thing that we started a couple of years ago, when one of them's going through a hard time, we bring the whole family in. And so we talk about it. So in hopes that the sisters will learn from each other, but they understand no matter how much trouble you get yourself into as a family, we still come together and we support each other. Your sisters, you're supporting each other. You have Rick and I supporting each other. Even their dad in moments has that we pulled him in. And that takes a long time coming with that one, but that's the idea too. And it's really been, I think, so impactful on their lives just to show support within each other as sisters.
We've gone through tough stuff too, guys. We've
Yeah.
had self-harm. We've had our oldest one, we had to admit her.
Yeah.
Because she had a bad friend group and she was cutting. We had that. We had to go through that one. We've had very abusive boyfriends, very young abusive boyfriends, especially getting into the sexual realm because our teenage girls are under fire from social media and pressure all over the place for sex. We've had to do these fights. There are very complicated situations right now for our girls, but they're either trained or untrained. They can either handle their business and have high awareness and pay attention to bad situations, or they are the bad situation. We allow them to be what they are, and we teach them. I don't shame them. The oldest one, when she was going through that, she stayed with me for a month, and I built her back up. I built her up. She didn't need me to tell her how bad she was. She already felt that way. No, she needed to see why she was good. Our middle one, very easy for us to get into shame. She does things that would be considered easy to judge. She just wanted attention. She wants love. Yeah, eating disorder. There's a thing there. There's something where there's a hurt in there that she doesn't want to deal with. The denial of what it is. There's a hurt in there that she doesn't want to deal with. There's a comparison that needs to be destroyed. Those are in there. These curses are inside of us. You're not bad for being cursed. It's just the battles that we've been given. Yeah, none of our girls are on medication. That's true. Just so if you're wondering, none of our girls are on medication. We don't have to. We
That's
just
another thing I wanted to bring up with being a mom. I was medicated for a while, and I don't want to be that person. It didn't make me who I was. It might have masked my depression and my anxiety and made it to where I could go day to day, but I wasn't there for my daughter.
Well, you never had to stop your negative self-talk. It just numbed you from it. You never had to start being kind to yourself because you could just take drugs.
Courtney, was that after you had your daughter?
That I started taking medication?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think there's, and this is good for women to know too. because hormones change so much. I was put on medication about a year after my daughter was born. And now looking back, I'm like, it was all hormonal. I didn't have an issue. It was all over the place. And so doctors are very quick to also give medicine for hormonal issues when that is, it's a real thing, having hormonal issues, but it is not going to help. Like neither one is related, I guess I'm trying to say. I mean, it can cause that, but over communicate or over medicating is something that's happening much more often than ever. So
It did start before I had her, but after I was raped as a teenager and all my depression and anxiety really came on full force, I was hospitalized and I was put on Prozac. And for a month, my mom just looked at me and she's like, "You don't need it. There's nothing wrong with you."
Your mom sounds like a very hurt person. She's completely closed off to her child. So, like, there's a lot of pain to take on and carry around, but it's all beatable. There's things in this that you have to take your power back. People have taken power from you. You to beat it, you have to take your power back. And there are women in here that we have fought molestation and rape with. You're not alone. There's a few in here that I would need you to lean in on, because we have fought these things and beaten them. But you keep trying to do everything alone, and you don't even have any you got like a broken wooden sword. You don't even have a weapon. Let's get you the right armor, the right weapon, and the right training so you can actually beat some of these things and take your power back. Okay? All right. Just watch yourself talk. That's your mission right now. Journal and catch how are you talking to you. And then remember, your daughter's supposed to be a kid. Go make some fucking messes. Go have fun. And one of the greatest things that you're going to have in your house is the laughter of a child. Sometimes we don't recognize our blessings because we may not be okay. So let's work on some of those curses, okay? You're in the women's group. There's support in there. Find it. Dig for it. Work for it. It's not all of them, please. Ladies, it's not all of them in there, okay? Just because people have opinions doesn't mean it's helpful. Just take it all with a grain of salt. But there's a few in there that are good ones. And find which ones are your good ones. Okay? And then be there on Wednesday. I train on Wednesday with the ladies in the morning. And bring your battles. Again, I'm not here to validate your feelings. I'm here to help you get out of the fucking pit. So we're going to climb. All right? Catch yourself talk. Start guarding against doubt. And boundaries are not bad. It's okay to say no. These are difficult tasks. You guys are on mission. You're on mission right now. But follow where you are. Watch for doubt. And there are griefs that we're going to get into more. Hey, Randy, I think the next training, let's do more of a parents thing. It'll be both for the future parents, people who want to be parents in the future, and parents who are parents now, and we can learn from each other. It's not about doing right or wrong, but sharing like a counsel of wisdom and finding what things have worked best so people have at least some options to not keep making tons of mistakes to get it right. It's just a helpful thing. There's a lot of kids that have no fucking clue what their parents are doing because their parents have no fucking clue what they're doing. And we've trial and errored some really big fuck ups. I have fucked up tremendously. Andrea's fucked up tremendously. We have fucked up. And step parents, Tika, I'm a step parent. And step parents. But we're doing pretty good. Our kids are doing very well. You know, so something I just wanted to share with you guys. Like maybe we can give you guys a couple tips that are working for us, especially for my guys and my girls out there. We gotta do things differently. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let's do that. You're right, Jordan. Let's lift each other up and let's work on some things. So next month I'll do a parents one. And baby, let's team up on next month's, okay? Cool. All right. Hopefully this is helpful. I hope this was helpful. This is new stuff. There's new pieces in here. This applies to everybody. Watch out for doubt. Watch how you speak to yourself. Catch it before it gets too much. Lean in on each other because together we're stronger. And we have to be defiant against things that offer us nothing. You guys are worth way more than people who cannot assess value have told you. So, challenge everything, warriors. Less damsel, more warrior. All right. Watch this again. I'm going to put this up. Randy, let's put this thing up in, we'll put it up in the paid areas in the Discord, and we'll put it up in the Patreon. So that way you guys can watch this again. Any of you who don't have those things, get them. Like and subscribe, right, Tico?
Like and subscribe.
My dude. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. You guys be good. And if you guys need something, please reach out. If you're not in the Discord groups or you're not plugged into our stuff, get plugged in. We have free sections. We have paid sections. They do have different things. But any of you who want to have more information or you want more stuff, just ask. The opportunities are everywhere. You just have to ask for them. All right, warriors. Go crush your night. I hope you guys got something from this, and I'll see you guys later. Tico, say it again.
Like and subscribe.